Tell me what to say.
Hello and welcome to another exciting new episode of Serious Nibbage with S.B.R.E. Brown and...
Gourmet pens!
Gourmet pens! Gourmet pens! Gourmet pens! Sorry. And today we'll have a look at...
Maybe I should just start going by Aziza, so then there will be no more Gourmet pen song.
Aziza! Aziza!
God. Okay.
Sorry. Today we'll have a look at this pen, the TWSBI Eco. And the TWSBI Eco was sent to us by Frank of Fonto Plumo. And this is the packaging, simple plastic box. And then out comes...
This is our first impressions.
Yes.
Okay, first impressions for me. I always have liked TWSBI's packaging because I think it's very useful. It also tends to be quite minimalistic designed, and it also comes with the little wrench, which is useful. The little adorable thing of silicone grease. This is so cute. It is really cute. And it also comes with a little warning to not clean your pen with alcohol because this will discolor, it'll cloud the material. And okay, that's probably not going to make any difference. And this is the wrench. The new wrench. I like the metal wrench better, but that's okay. It is an economical pen, so it makes sense. And it also has paper around the bed of the pen, which tells you like how to use the wrench and how to use the grease. And it also comes with this baffling thing.
Well, I figured it out. What it says is if you put it in the ink, then you get ink on the nib and you cannot write with it, but if you dip it into
you can write with it, but it'll splatter the ink onto the page.
But if you dip it into a volcano first, then it will write perfectly well. That's probably what this means. It's it means something about wipe down the nib, that's it.
Clearly, he is not good at reading pictures. So, picture books were not his strong thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, so first impressions, I felt pretty good about the packaging and the pen. And the pen, the first thing I had to tell myself was don't compare this to the 580. Mm-hmm. Because I think the 580 is a very pretty model. So, not that this is not pretty, but it is a lot more... blocky. Yeah, it's simpler. So my first impressions were it's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's hideous or anything like that. It's just it doesn't have the facets of the 580 and stuff like that. So positive first impression so far, I would say. Anyway, I have rambled sufficiently. What about your first impressions?
Well, my first impressions were this is an inexpensive pen, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's an economical pen.
Well, I wouldn't so far to go so far as to say inexpensive, but relatively affordable.
At $35, so many nib options, and a piston-filled pen, and a wrench to disassemble it. Yeah. I don't think that is particularly expensive. But you notice that they try to make a cheaper pen than I have been doing before. They've tried to save cost, and that worked. And yes, you will see that in the design. Less facets, it's just a round barrel.
It's a simpler, plainer design.
It's much simpler, but in principle, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. That makes your pens more affordable. So my first impressions were a more inexpensive pen, but a decently built pen. Yeah. To me, for some reason, it doesn't really feel super cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, then, what makes it special?
Well, I think you kind of covered that in saying that it is a relatively affordable pen at $35 or €35. And it comes with a lot of nib options, so extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and 1.1 millimeter stub, but I believe not the 1.5. And it's a piston filler, you know, it's serviceable yourself, so... And that's what TWSBI is known for. You know, you can do this a lot yourself. You get a lot of bang for your buck, basically, and I think that's what makes it special. And that it is at such a affordable price. And it's a full-size pen. It's not a pocket pen for this price. If you think of something like the Quebeco Sport. So, I think that about covers what makes it special.
What about your writing experience?
Well, I blabbed again, so what was your writing experience?
Oh, my writing experience was not bad. This is an extra fine nib.
Yeah, would you believe we actually picked an extra fine? Because we have heard your request to do something other than broads. That doesn't sound right.
It's, what am I doing, broads? This is an extra fine nib. It writes well. I have not had this run dry. You
would hope an extra fine wouldn't run dry,
yeah,
of course, right?
I have had that with the 1.5mm, but this one does not. It's just a good writer.
Yeah.
No issues. It's actually, I thought, for an extra fine, it's pretty smooth, which is not a bad feat at all.
Yeah.
So I was quite impressed by the writing experience.
Yeah. I will echo my colleague's sentiments.
Oh, notice what you did there.
What?
Echo.
Oh gosh. Okay. I do agree. The extra fine. I've used the extra fine on the 580 before, and I was also pleased with that one. Although I found this one to be a truer extra fine than that one. That one was a bit broader. It's a very pleasant extra fine. No hard starts, no skips. I mean, it's not extremely smooth, but I did not find it particularly scratchy. And I found that quite nice. It's slightly, not springy, but if you do put pressure, you can get some line variation because it is, the tines are fairly long and thin. But overall, my writing experience was very pleasant. The pen itself is a nice size, and the difference between this model and the 580, for those of you who like to post your pens, is this one has a O-ring right there, and the cap does post very securely. So for me, I posted it really badly, now the clip is down there. But anyway, for me, it's a little long, a little top heavy. Well, ever so slightly, but
I think it will be for everyone.
It could go a little deeper. For me, that doesn't sound good. Yeah. I mean,
you like it deep now?
Oh God, but unposted, I think it's a very pleasant writing experience. The section has it's got these little. I'm trying to show it using the minion as a background. It's got this little like ridge here. It's not as pronounced as on the Safari, but it's just little like grip bits, and I grip really low, so I did feel them a little, but I think for most normal people that grip a pen normally, it won't be an issue. So, and despite that, I didn't even find it that bad. So overall, very positive, pleasant writing experience, and I was really happy about that.
What did you love about it?
He's just like waiting for me to shut up. Well, it probably is. What did you love about it?
Well, actually, I think it's a very neat concept. I have to admit, it's I'm not sure if I really love this hexagonal design on the cap. I don't know if that really does a lot for me. Are you trying to disassemble my head?
Nothing in there though, is there?
But in a way, they did the same thing on the piston turning knob, and to be honest, I think that makes it a really comfortable thing to grip and turn. Also, the round barrel, I like the facets on the 580 and the 540 and 530 before that, but I actually think this round barrel is pretty cool because it's a demonstrator. You can see the ink coming clearly. Usually this is all clear, right? There's dark blue ink in it. I think that's really nice. Also, the section, the fact that it's transparent makes it really cool. You can see the nib and feet suspended in there. I think it's very nice, and apart from that, it writes well, it draws up a large amount of ink.
Yeah, it's got a really decent ink capacity.
I think TWSBI really did a nice job, especially for the price.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree. I think I think it's pretty decent. Are we talking about what we love or what we hate?
What we love.
Oh, we love, yeah. Well, echoing what you said. Echoing. I wanted to say that because I wanted to do the echo twice, but then I forgot, so I ruined it. I think it's really fun that this, like you said, the section is clear. Oh, I gotta show my hand thing. Oh, it's too much work. I like that the section is clear. You can see your ink moving through. It's a very for those of you who like clear pens, it's I think a really nice system. Great ink capacity. I'll kind of move into what it's lacking. Okay, well, first of all, I don't really like the clip. The clip is just really, it doesn't really do anything for me, but it's also not supposed to be, I mean, it's not really my Grail pen, so I'm not really expecting to love every single thing about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I also find the cap a bit blocky, but again, you kind of cut down on the fanciness of the pen's design to make it more economical. But it's unfortunate that it no longer has the nib the units that you could just swap out. This one you could remove the nib and feed and then just change your nib, but for being an accessible pen, it loses that aspect, and but that's not really a huge deal, but it is something, and that's really pretty much it, because I mean, other than that, it's really hard to complain about a pen that's basically $35. It's a piston filler. It has a really decent ink capacity. I think it's almost 2 mils.
Yeah, I think so.
It's
well done.
Yeah. It doesn't feel super cheap, like he said. It doesn't feel like, wow, this is just a bunch of plastic. I mean, it is plastic, but it doesn't feel really cheap in hand. Yeah. It looks nice. It's really well put together. It's not bad.
One thing I would comment on is that it doesn't feel like a piece of junk. So that, I think, is a positive thing. If I have to talk about things I dislike, not so many. I agree with Aziza. The cap is blocky. I also don't like this new finial. The older one was much prettier, but again, definitely, if you're trying to cut cost, then clearly this is a cheaper option than the nice round clear plastic finial they used before. And indeed, everything, it just looks a bit cheaper. The clip, it looks a bit cheaper.
I am trying to serious Nibbage this without comparing it to the 540 580 and stuff, right?
I think it's very important to treat this for what it is, which is a relatively inexpensive pen, but in all honesty, I think a well-made one.
Yeah, and the fact that you can maintain it yourself, and
you get a bit of silicone grease, you get the wrench, all of that is included in the price. I think that's
pretty
really
cool.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
Now, would you buy it?
For $35, you can get the white one or the black one with the black ends, and I think they are currently working on an all clear one. Yeah, I would, because I mean, it's nice to, I like piston fillers, but also, I mean, there are some inks that I don't really want to put in vintage pens and stuff, but I really want to play with, and I like to see it, and I wouldn't necessarily put it in, for example, like my clear Pelikan M1005. So,
so fancy, I have a clear Pelikan M1005.
You have like 80 Visconti Opera Masters.
Yeah, but that's necessary.
That's necessary. So, I think it's a decent pen to have.
Yeah.
And what I also like about it is that, I've had this before where a friend comes over, they're like, oh, I really like this pen. And it's like, if it's someone that I actually like, I guess if it's a friend that's coming over, I do like them.
Typically.
But not always. I could say, well, take it. So it's affordable enough that I can part with it as a gift, or just buying myself one. But also, if they come out with more colors, it's affordable that I could, collect them.
It's fun. It's fun to have.
I think it gets into the Lamy Safari color range, but you get way more bang for your buck with this.
Yeah, and again, a piston filler. I mean, the Lamy Safari has nothing on this when it comes to ink capacity, for example. I mean, material, I think Safari is more robust. But ink capacity is
if TWSBI will take care of your pen regardless of when you bought it and it breaks or cracks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about
I think that
cracking.
issue has been
I meant more in general. I mean, Lamy uses a really hard plastic that's really robust, and this is not. Right. But that's okay. I mean, that's something you accept. But the flip side of that is on this pen you get an enormous ink capacity.
Yeah, and you get a piston.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's pretty nice. Cool. So, is it serious Nibbage? Well, here is our snibometer, and there are little markings on it. So this is not serious, and this is very serious. Now, we have not put numbers on here because serious nibbaging is not an exact science.
We have tried.
We have tried this, and also it varies per person, of course, right? So
it's very subjective. So
yeah,
this
it's
is
so subjective.
This will give you a rough indication.
We're basically just saying whether we think the pen is cool or not, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna actually say that I think this pen is pretty high on the serious nibbage meter, because although it's not the most beautiful pen I've ever looked at, you get a lot for what it is, and I think it's very nice that TWSBI has considered the fountain pen community and what they want, and that they're trying to produce things that fountain pen users can afford and are interested in. And again, although it's not the most beautiful thing, it's a lot of bang for your buck.
I agree. I would say the same thing. This is not the most gorgeous design I've ever seen on a pen, but for this amount, you'll get a pen, a wrench to disassemble it, you get some silicone grease. So even if you are a beginner in the fountain pen hobby, you get something that you can use, disassemble, play with, fiddle around with.
And it writes.
It writes straight out of the box.
We all know most of us have used more expensive pens that have needed work out of the box.
So I would probably place it about there, but I think it's quite
pretty much the same thing.
It's quite impressive for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Now, what else could you buy if you don't want to buy this, but you are in the market for something?
Well, at $35 or 35 euros, roughly the same thing. I mean, I think you're looking at Lamy All-Star, or the Vista,
or Safari,
or the Safari. You could probably get the Monteverde Prima, the one with the pretty colors.
You could get a Kaweco Sport, but you can also eyedropper if you really want to.
Yeah.
So there
but
are
of
some
course,
options.
you could look at an Ahab, but of course you are. None of those are true pistons, right?
No, this is all. I mean, it's internal piston, right? It's all in there. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
So I mean, if you really did not like this, you could look at something else. But to be honest, I would probably give this a shot.
Yeah.
So, what about you? Anything else that you would pick?
No, I think this is it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well made. So, there's a minion behind us. We hope this was useful.
If you would like one of your own, you could use one of our discount codes available to Fonto Plumo's site, and they're available on our website. If you go to gourmetpens.com, there's a discount code page which will give it to you, and if you go to his page, you could find it somewhere.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I hope this was useful.
Wait, we're going to give the pen away.
Oh.
So, if you would like to win the TWSBI Eco...
Win this pen, win this pen. I got carried away.
Please, just leave a comment on the YouTube... No, your website. Is that what
yes, leave it on my website.
On the website post, which we will include in the description below. In the video, so you can just go to his website, post for this. And the only reason we're doing that is because it's easier to keep track of entries. Yeah. Otherwise, we have to put them all together, and it's such a pain.
So if you do post a comment on YouTube, that's great, but it will not count for the giveaway.
Yes.
Go to the website.
So, and maybe you could let us know if you've used a TWSBI before and which one is your favorite.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that's it. And then we'll pick a random winner.
Easy peasy.
72 hours after the post goes online. If you are not informed, then you didn't win. All right? The winner gets...
We email the winner. So
don't worry, if you didn't get it, you didn't win.
Yeah.
And it's also there will also be a reply on my webpage which actually says you won. So if you
want to check, you could just check in the comments.
That's
so that's everything.
All right.
And thank you again to Fonto Plumo for allowing us to review this and give it away to you guys. So hopefully this was interesting and informative, and that's about all. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.